Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. This is the world of TV shows. Today I have another episode review for you of another show I wanted to review, and the show is none other than Bones. Today we're going to be looking at the pilot episode. It originally aired on September 13, 2005 on Fox. It was directed by Greg Yaitanes and written by Hart Hansen as well as Kathy Reiches. So this is basically the pilot episode of the show. It introduces us to the characters, to the mood of it, to how things are run down there, right? So we have our main character. Her name is Temperance Brennan, who's played by Emily Deschanel. And basically, she's a forensics anthropologist who works on bones, right? Whenever bodies are found too badly decomposed and where other conventional means of identification fail, she's basically able to put a face to the bones and a name to the face, right? So she's a very well-known forensics anthropologist who also happens to write fiction, to write books. Her latest one, if I'm not mistaken, is named Bread of the Bone. And yeah, so she's quite an asset to her institute as she works for the Jeffersonian Institute in Washington, D.C., right? In this episode, at the beginning, she's heading back there on a plane, right? After she spent some time in Guatemala working on, trying to identify victims of a genocide, right? So, in Guatemala, so she's going to be heading back there, right, at the beginning. And, well, at the beginning, she's accosted by this Homeland Security agent, and one thing leads to another. And after a while, she's basically reunited with FBI Special Agent Seeley Booth, who basically kind of goes there to quote-unquote rescue her. And those who have watched the episode kind of would probably laugh at me saying this, because you know exactly how it goes. But I don't want to spoil for those who haven't watched it or anything, so that's why I'm keeping it, kind of, mysterious, right? So this is basically how it goes. And Seeley Booth would want her help in a body they recently found at the bottom of a lake in Arlington National Cemetery. And at first, Brennan is kind of reluctant in doing that. She doesn't want to at first. But then after kind of arguing for a little while, she decides to do it, as long as she has, as she puts it, a full participation in the case, right? So she's going to go to the crime scene, her and her team, her assistant, right? And afterwards, they're going to be taking the body back to the institute, where they're going to be running a thorough kind of investigation, so to speak. Not really investigation, but identification, right? Where they're going to be learning who that recently found body is, who they are, right? So she's going to be working hand in hand, close by, alongside her team, right? The members of her team. And after a while, yes, so Booth and her are going to be doing some field work, and it's going to lead them to a senator, right? And I'll let you find out for yourselves exactly what it is about, because I don't want to spoil too much or anything. But basically, the victim might have been involved with a senator, right? And that's probably what led to her death, right? Led to her murder. So this is basically how it goes. I don't want to spoil the episode too much or anything. But wow, this pilot episode was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it, especially the whole kind of humor in it, between the chemistry between Emily Deschanel and the other main actor that we have in the show, David Boreanaz, who plays Seeley Booth, who is known for his roles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, right? He's a very well-known actor, and he's really, really good as well. So, yeah, he's basically, him and Emily are the main actors of the show. And Emily Deschanel was also, that's in that same year, 2005, she was on the movie called Boogeyman, where she played really, really, really well. So, yeah, she was also in Spider-Man 2 in 2004, a year prior to that. So she's a really, really good actress as well. So the two of them are kind of an item. They're working very well together. And even though they kind of, I guess they argue a lot. It's kind of the whole banter kind of thing, which makes the show the more enjoyable. So I really, really enjoyed this whole aspect and them working together. Kind of Booth at some point has to vouch for her to his superior, has to basically, he wants her to work with him because he believes that she's the best, right? That she's really, really good and that she could definitely help. So against his kind of superior's better judgment, who's not very sure whether he should or not, he convinces him that this would be a good idea, right? And yeah, so that's basically how it goes. Also, he uses this term to refer to her and her team as squints, right? Which is pretty funny, because I'll let you find out for yourselves why he calls them squints. He says this at the beginning, but I thought that this was pretty good. So these two main actors, sorry, are really, really good as the main characters. Then we have Michaela Conlon, who plays Angela Montenegro, who is basically Brennan's best friend, and she was at the airport at the beginning. I didn't mention that. I should have, where she's basically going to be reunited with her friend, and then obviously the Homeland Security thing ensues, and it's pretty funny. I'll let you find out for yourselves if you haven't watched it, but it's a pretty funny thing, really. I like how the episode begins in that kind of light-hearted kind of way, but then eventually it gets more serious as the body is found and so on and so forth in the investigation, and it gets pretty graphic at times as well. So this is something that you might want to know, and they're going to be working on skeletons a lot, or so yeah, they're going to be some I guess you could call it buddy kind of horror kind of thing. We have Eric Milligan, who plays Zach Eddy, who is Brenna's assistant. He's very young, and he's a little funny. He's a little quirky. It takes some time to get used to him because he's he likes to mess around a little bit too, give and at some point, Brandon calls him out on that. So it was pretty funny as well. Right, so he's a funny character. Then we have TJ Thine, who plays Jack Hodgins, who's the Slam and Bug guy, the one who knows about these kinds of things. So he's TJ Thine was a pretty good actor who was in other shows as well. He was on an episode of Cold Case. He guest starred in it. He was on NCIS. So TJ Thine is a pretty good actor, and to have him there, he was pretty good as an actor in this first pilot episode. Then we have Jonathan Adams, who plays Daniel Goodman, who's kind of, if I'm not mistaken, the one in charge of the whole institute. The one who's gonna want Brennan to work with the FBI agent Celie Booth. Even though Brennan at first doesn't appreciate the fact that she didn't know about it until much later. So is there gonna be some kind of tension at the beginning between the two? Then we have Sean Trammell, who plays Ken Thompson. Sam Trammell, right? And he was in other shows as well. He's pretty good. We have Chris Connor, who plays Oliver Laurier. Larry Poindexter plays Senator Bethlehem, who is not a very nice character. We have Tyrese Allen, who plays Ted Eller, who is the father of the victim. We have Benita Fried Ricey, who plays Sharon Eller, his wife. Dominic Fumusa plays Peter St. James. David Robertson, Naja Hill, John Sterling Carter, Catherine Ann McGregor, Charles Genesis, as well as Damien Tufik Raven, right? I apologize if I mispronounce any of the names, but those are all the main actors that played in this episode. But really, really enjoyed this episode. Really enjoyed the resolution, everything. It was really good to have, this first introduction to the show. Really, really worked well, in my opinion, especially with the main characters, how the episode is structured, how the field work also is pretty good. The fact that it takes place in Washington, D.C., although I don't know if it was shot in D.C. per se, but I'd assume it was, right? I didn't look it up before, but I'm pretty sure that it was filmed, shot in that town, in that city. But yeah, it was, everything is beautiful, right? The way it is shot, the cemetery, the scenes at the cemetery, yeah, and the institute, the yes, beautiful. It's there's a big fountain. It's one of the most beautiful places. You know, you could basically see, this big monument, and yes, the grass and everything is such a nice setting to have, right, for a TV show. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how the investigation takes place, where it leads, with the whole senator kind of you know field and all of that. It was kind of, there were a lot of obstacles standing in the way, but a lot of flaming hoops, I guess you could call them. But with help from the Jeffersonian Institute, kind of with Brennan trying to help to see this investigation to the end, to make sure that the criminal is arrested, the guilty party is convicted of the crime that they have committed. This whole quest for justice, which is a big element of the show, like in many other TV shows, is really one of the best elements, aspects of it as well, right? So really, really enjoyed pretty much everything about it. Really, I like the humor. I like how Brennan is. She's kind of she's very determined to run everything to the end, to leave no stone unturned. So she's really, really good, and she's also very strong as well. She can take care of herself, right? She's a good fighter, as you can see from the episode, right? And yes, her co-worker in this, her FBI co-worker, Booth, is also really, really fun as well. So anyhow, I really enjoyed this episode. This first introduction to the show was really, really nice. So if I were to rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's a good way to begin any TV show, to have the focus, the way it begins, the way it evolves, the way it progresses, what it's about, what it leads to. So it was really, really interesting for me, for the show in general. For a pilot episode, it definitely did well. So I would give it an 8 out of 10, right? And I really enjoyed also the conclusion to the episode, right? The final scenes, and yeah, how everything is eventually how everything is made right, so to speak. So I really enjoyed this first episode. So 8 out of 10 for me. What about you folks? What did you think about this episode of Bones, the pilot? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And let me know about anything you would want to let me know about in regards to this wonderful show. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next review, God willing, for another episode. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. Goodbye. Take care. This is the World of TV Show signing off.